Have you ever heard of the financial trapdoor age? Well, welcome to this Dollar Playbook Explainer. I'm Mason, and I like to think of myself as that experienced uncle who's here to give it to you straight about your money. You see, before age 45, almost any financial mistake is completely recoverable. A wrong career move, buying the wrong house, picking a messy portfolio. You've got 20 years to fix it. But at 45, the math changes. And the cruel part is that you don't feel the fall right away. It's a trapdoor that just opens incredibly slowly, and you usually don't even feel it until you're 65, when the retirement you thought was coming just isn't there.
So I really want you to ask yourself right now, what does your financial safety net really look like beneath the surface? Take a second to honestly think about that. Your 40s are the decade when multiple heavy responsibilities converge from every direction all at once. Your kids are getting older and, let's face it, a lot more expensive. Your parents are aging and they might need your financial help soon. Plus your career demands are hitting their absolute peak. The pressure is coming from all sides, which means the urgency to hit your financial milestones is higher than ever before.
Let's take a look at what this trapdoor looks like in the real world. Meet Marcus and Jake. They're both exactly 45 years old. From the outside, you literally couldn't tell them apart. They live in the exact same neighborhood, their kids go to the same schools, and they drive the same types of cars. Now, Marcus looks incredibly wealthy, but he's standing on a foundation that is completely rotted through. Jake, on the other hand, looks pretty average, but he has spent the last 20 years quietly reinforcing his floor. One of them is about to fall through the trapdoor, and the other has already built a solid bridge across it.
To make sure nobody feels overwhelmed, we are breaking down these 8 milestones into 4 highly manageable pillars. Pillar 1, foundation. Pillar 2, growth. Pillar 3, safety. And Pillar 4, shield.
Let's dive straight into Pillar 1, foundation.
Before you can build true wealth, you absolutely must repair the floor underneath it. If there is a crack in your foundation, it is going to break through the second that midlife weight gets put on it. Take $168,000, for example. Marcus currently carries $42,000 in consumer debt spread across credit cards, a financed SUV, and some lingering student loans. Because of this, he's paying roughly $8,400 a year just in interest. If he keeps this up for the next 20 years, he will pay over $168,000 in interest alone. That is money that absolutely should have gone to his retirement or his kids' college. So by age 45, the only acceptable debt allowed to stay in your life is a home mortgage. Everything else needs to be gone.
That brings us to milestone number 2, hitting your PAW target. PAW stands for Prodigious Accumulator of Wealth, which is a brilliant concept from Dr. Thomas Stanley. The formula is beautifully simple. You just take your age, multiply it by your annual gross income, and divide that entire number by 10. That number right there is your minimum target net worth. I actually want to invite you to pause for a second and calculate your own score, just to see where you truly stand today.
Let's see how this plays out for our guys Marcus and Jake. Marcus earns $130,000 a year, making his target $585,000, but his actual net worth is just $180,000. He is failing his target by $400,000. Jake earns a bit less at $95,000 a year, so his target is $427,500, but his actual net worth is $510,000. Jake is clearing his target by over $80,000. So, the absolute crucial point here is this. Marcus earns 37% more than Jake, but Jake is almost 3 times wealthier. True wealth is dictated by your everyday behavior, not just a high income.
Moving right along, here is Pillar 2, growth.
This pillar focuses on exactly where your money lives, how it's being managed, and making sure you are avoiding unnecessary taxes and those quiet fees that drain your accounts. Milestone number 3 is maxing out your tax-advantaged accounts in the correct order. The sequence actually matters more than the dollar amounts. Step 1. Fund your HSA, or health savings account, because it has a super rare triple tax advantage. It's pre-tax in, tax-free growth, and tax-free out for medical expenses. Step 2. Fund your 401k up to the employer match because that is literally an unbeatable 100% guaranteed return. Step 3. Your Roth IRA. Step 4. A backdoor Roth if your income happens to be too high. And finally, Step 5. Return to that 401k and completely max it out.
Over 20 years, assuming the exact same gross savings rate and the same 7% investment returns, Jake's tax-advantaged stack will end up roughly $340,000 ahead of Marcus's. Why? Because Marcus only contributes to his 401k up to the match and just leaves the rest on the table, getting dragged down by taxes every single year.
Milestone 4 is what I like to call the one-sentence diagnostic. By age 45, your portfolio should be highly deliberate.
Can you explain your investment strategy to your spouse in one sentence without using any financial jargon? If you can't, well, you don't really have a strategy. You just have a random collection of funds. Marcus owns 11 confusing, overlapping funds from a bunch of different jobs. Jake owns just 3 simple, low-cost index funds.
That complexity has a staggering cost. Marcus's messy portfolio has an average expense ratio of 0.68%. Jake's clean strategy sits at just 0.05%. Over 20 years, those high fees will quietly drain nearly $100,000 from Marcus's retirement. Please remember this: fees compound against you in the exact same way that returns compound for you.
Next up is Pillar 3, Safety.
This pillar acts as your critical shock absorber for life's unexpected emergencies. Milestone number 5 is your cash reserve. By 45, you need 12 months of essential expenses sitting safely in a high-yield savings account. Now, you might be wondering, why 12 months? Well, at 25, if you lost a job, you could probably find another one in 3 months. But at 45, a job search for a mid-career professional easily takes 5 to 7 months. And those midlife responsibilities we talked about earlier? Yeah, your kids and aging parents don't pause their needs just because you have a financial emergency.
Milestone 6 is your credit score, and honestly, you want an 800 or higher. On a standard $400,000 mortgage, dropping from an 800 credit score down to a 760 FICO score can cost you $30,000 to $40,000 in lifetime mortgage interest. Think about that. That is a full kitchen renovation or 2 years of college tuition entirely gone, just sitting in the gap between 2 scores that look pretty similar on paper.
So how do you actually get there? First, keep your credit utilization below 10%. Go ahead and ignore that old 30% myth you hear so often. Second, never ever miss a payment. Third, leave your oldest accounts open to protect your credit age. And please, check your report for errors regularly. 1 in 5 Americans has an error on their report that is quietly dragging down their score.
And finally, we have Pillar 4, Shield.
This final pillar is designed to comprehensively protect the wealth you have worked so incredibly hard to build and to protect the family that relies on you every single day. Milestone 7 is life and disability insurance. Let's objectively contrast permanent whole life insurance versus a 20-year term policy. A whole life policy might run you $900 to $1,200 a month. A term life policy for the exact same coverage? Only $60 to $90 a month. If you buy the cheaper term policy and simply invest that massive difference in an index fund, you will yield over $400,000 by age 65. You need 10 to 12 times your annual income in term life coverage to practically protect your family if the absolute worst happens. And you absolutely must pair that with a solid disability insurance policy. At 45 years old, your earning power is still your single largest financial asset. You need to guard it.
Our final milestone, number 8, is a complete estate plan. You absolutely must have 4 documents in place: a will, a durable power of attorney, a healthcare directive, and most importantly, updated beneficiary designations. Why? Because without an estate plan, your family will face a devastating 6 to 18-month public probate court process. And actually, here's a massive warning you need to hear. Beneficiary designations on your accounts completely override whatever is in your will. So please, audit your accounts today.
So let's look at how this all concludes. The trapdoor doesn't just snap open. It opens slowly. Marcus's minor misses, carrying just a bit of debt, confusing investments, whole life insurance, they quietly compound over time. He's on track to retire at 70 with 40% less wealth. Jake, on the other hand, who simply kept up with these consistent, unflashy habits, has built profound security. He's going to retire comfortably at 62.
Here is your comprehensive final scorecard for the 8 milestones: 0 debt, hitting your PAR target, proper account sequencing, a clear portfolio, 12 months cash, an 800 credit score, proper insurance, and a complete estate plan. I really want you to evaluate your own standing right now honestly, but absolutely without feeling any judgment. We all start somewhere, and the important thing is that we're starting.
Which leaves us with this final question. Which of these 8 financial milestones will you pick to fix first this quarter? Don't try to tackle all of them today, that's just too much. Pick just one, low-pressure milestone, and start building your solid floor. If you found this useful, please like, share, and subscribe to the Dollar Playbook channel for more practical, everyday money lessons. I'm Mason, and I'll see you in the next explainer.